Yeah, welcome back to the module value addition using AIM. And this is the second section where we are going to understand some of the examples of value additions that we understood according to the strategy of Dr. Mark Saunders, Renishaw. So let's start with the first level of AIM deployment, which is rapid prototyping and tooling. So prototyping, we are by now we all should be very much clear what is prototyping. It's bringing your idea to life for the first time. Now, prototyping uh, can take a certain amount of time, maybe a day, or two, a month, a year, also in some cases. What 3D printing does is it allows us to produce these prototypes without specific tooling required for the object. And when the tooling is not required, the time taken to manufacture these components are reduced drastically. Now, the catch here is that in prototyping, you can do prototyping for multiple purposes, such as for just ideation or visualization. You can also do prototyping for functional testing. So you need not have the same material, which is your actual material, which you will be producing the part in during mass production. For example, here you can see there is uh, earth digging equipment. I'm sorry, I'm missing out on the name of this particular equipment, but it is basically made of some metal alloys. But for prototyping stage, we can develop it in hard engineering polymers through 3D printing. This very drastically reduces the time taken to realize the first prototype. So your design iteration time is reduced. You can make conclusions based on your prototype, and then you can go to the next design iteration, create the next design iteration, and produce prototyping for the same as well for a feedback. So that is the idea of prototyping. Now, I told you about direct part replacement. So here, if you see, there are certain impellers. Now, these impellers are conventionally manufactured through casting, but using additive manufacturing, these impellers can be printed in very less time. These impellers require uh, a particular mold which is very complex when they are made through their conventional way, which is casting. So, in this, what happens that the mold manufacturing itself takes 1 to 2 months. Now imagine these impellers being part of any particular industry where the supply chain is very critical, and the parts have to be replaced, the worn out parts or the damaged parts have to be replaced in no time. Then they cannot wait 1 or 2 months. Whereas for 3D printing, since there is no tooling required, these impellers can be produced in hardly 6 to 7 days and can be delivered to the actual use of operation. So that is the advantage of direct part replacement. And in this, you don't need to change the design. So both in rapid prototyping and tooling and direct part replacement, you actually don't need to change the design. Minute changes you might have to do for adapting to 3D printing because every process has got certain limitations. Then we talk about part consolidation. Now, part consolidation is basically redesigning and reimagining the assembly of the component. So, what is your objective here? The objective is to reduce the total number of components in an assembly by seeing if you can eliminate some joints such as bolting or welding or any other threading joints, any kind of joints. If you can eliminate, uh, then you can consolidate multiple points and print it as a single structure in 3D printing. What you see on your screen on the left hand side, you can see that these are all sheet metal parts which are being made through sheet metal manufacturing, such as punching, bending, and stamping, and then they are welded together. Whereas on the right hand side, what you see is one single component produced through 3D printing in one shot. So this is what we mean by part consolidation, and this is very useful in reducing the assembly count. We will understand about part consolidation, what are the ideas, in the last module of this, in the last section of this module as well. Then we talk about DFAM optimized. So what is DFAM optimized? Basically, you redesign the component for additive manufacturing. So there are two kinds of redesigning methods available. One is simulation driven design, one is manual driven design. Simulation driven design is basically using a software algorithm to create the design, which where you have to give the input that 3D printing or what 3D printing technology is going to be the end manufacturing technique, so that the design that is being created by the software has already taken the manufacturing technique into account. And manual driven design is where you make the changes yourself. The designer makes the changes himself or herself, and then reaches to a conclusion that this is a good 3D printing design. But yeah, it can be really time taking, and multiple discussions amongst various teams might be required to reach that. Whereas the simulation driven design techniques such as topology optimization and generative design, they can really help you redesign components in no time for additive manufacturing. Now, this image that you are seeing, this is from a software platform called as Topology, which is one of the most advanced engineering design tool for additive manufacturing. So, thank you. That was about what kind of values and at what stage the values can be added, basically a roadmap of AM deployment. Now we will take a dive into the specific techniques of value addition in the next section. Thank you.